So let's move on to the second question in the test review. Once again, much like the first one, we've got our equation, and they've actually filled in the table for us for the x values, so we didn't even have to work out each. And it looks like it's going up by half again, so we've already got that part. And then we've got the formula, and we just plug in each number. This one says 3 decimal places, and I think this is the same actually. 2 to the 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, square root of 2, and we had 1.114 in the last one. And we just have to work out the last two for 2 points, but they have filled in most of the values. So we're just going to steal those answers from the bottom. 2.236. And 2.580. And you should just check on your calculator just to make sure that you do agree with that. Okay, next part of the question. Using the trapezium rule with all the values in the table, find an approximation for R. So notice R is the area under the curve between 0 and 3 for this curve. So obviously that's why our table goes from 0 to 3. So we need that formula. We need the one. I wonder if I can copy and paste from my previous question. It might be. Oh, no, because I erased it. That's fine. So the formula then is 1/2 h. And then in parentheses, we've got y0 plus 2 times all those middle values, which I'm just going to put like that for the moment, and then plus that very end value. And notice we are looking at the y values here as well, so we're not plugging in these, we're plugging in these values here. So the height, once again, was what the width is for this question, so that would be half. So 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. I'm just going to save us a little bit of time there. I personally always like to add the first value and the last value together, so I would have 4.414. You might want to substitute in first just to make it perfectly clear, but just to save a little bit of time here. And 2 times, so this would be all the other numbers, everything besides that first number and that last number. And then just like the last question, I would do this in stages. I would work out what all this, I would work out probably what 4 plus 2 times this number is first. Then I can do 4.414 added onto that, and then I can do 1/4 of that. But just do it in enough stages to make sure you don't make any careless mistakes. And you can see, once again, they did the first plus the last plus 2 times this number as well. And 6.133. They are allowing 6.13, even following minor slips as well. So they are giving credit as long as you're trying to show exactly what you're doing. And they did accept the square root of 5, notice on the other answer. But if it says 3 decimal places, just go 3 decimal places just to avoid that question. Or avoid a possible error, I should say. 2 points. By reference to the curve, give a reason whether your approximation in part B is an overestimate or an underestimate. Now, this is one that some people started to get a little wrong on the homework, in the fact that if they could actually work out the integral, they actually did work out the integral and then compared the two answers, and from that said whether it's an overestimate or an underestimate. When they give you the picture, that's not what you actually want to do. You just want to physically look at what the trapezoid actually is, or the trapezium. So the trapezium I'm looking at is this. And then we're just comparing the two areas. So the shaded area, you can see, is clearly smaller than the area than the trapezium. Therefore, we can say that the area of the trapezium is an overestimate of what this is. And that's kind of how you'd convince the examiner. You would draw a picture, you'd mention this little part here, and then you'd get 1 point for giving the answer. So kind of 1 for the reason, and 1 for the correct answer, overestimate, underestimate, but 1 with the correct reason as well. So that's all you're really trying to do. If it's not obvious, you kind of want to exaggerate the picture a little bit. Like if they didn't draw the picture and it was x squared, just make sure that when you draw your curve in, that you pick a couple of points that are kind of a long way away from each other, and then use that for your trapezoid. And then you can see we got this little extra piece here. If you have to draw your own picture, that is. And that's the end of the second question.